Hi, everybody. I'm Hub Arkush, along with Nate Atkins and Kevin Fishbain for ChicagoFootball.com, as we continue to bring you the Bear necessities, the things that your Chicago Bears need to do, I should say the players who are most important for the Bears to be successful in the 2015 campaign. And we're getting down the short strokes now, Kevin. 10 down through 6 before we get to the top 5. And at number 10, Martellus Bennett, coming off a Pro Bowl season, coming off a strange offseason in which he was a Bear, he wasn't a Bear, but he seems on board now. He has got to have another Pro Bowl season.
Yeah, whatever your opinion is about Martellus Bennett and this kind of mini holdout he had, you have to understand his value to this team. You look who's behind him: Dante Rosario, Zach Miller, Bear Pasco. These are not seam-stretching tight ends. These are not Pro Bowl tight ends, the type of player we saw from Martellus Bennett last year. No one's going to question, the work ethic he's done. He's worked out on the side. If he is important to this offense. If he's there, if he's playing well, that means big things for Jay Cutler and the rest of the Bears going forward.
Well, and Nate, the other thing about it is you got to be excited about Kevin White, excited about Eddie Royal, but they're not known quantities yet. It's going to take some time. Bennett is going to be the security blanket for Jay Cutler early in the season.
Absolutely, and even with Alshon Jeffrey, who we'll get to in a moment, he's in a new role as well. Martellus Bennett's the one guy coming back. We know what his role is, and with the guys behind him, I think he definitely needs to produce.
All right, guys, at number 9, Jermon Bushrod. We don't talk about the offensive lineman all that often. When we do, it's usually the left tackle. Some people think that maybe he's just holding off Kyle Long's move there eventually. I think what I've heard from the Bears so far, Kevin, is no, they're dependent on Bushrod. They want to leave Kyle Long where he's at for now.
Part of this ranking, Hub, with Jermon Bushrod, and we discussed this, was his position. Left tackle is such an important position in today's game. You need to be able to protect Jay Cutler's blind side. And the other part about it is Bushrod's leadership, his experience. You got a new center this year. Roberto Garza's gone. Kyle Long's kind of become a vocal leader, but Bushrod's got all the years of experience. He's got the Super Bowl with New Orleans. He means lots to this team. Struggled last year, had the injury, but if he's playing at a high level, playing up to the contract that he got from Phil Emery, that's really important for the protection of Jay Cutler.
Nate, the Bears have been struggling to address the safety position forever. They went out and got a Pro Bowler at number 8. We've got Antrell Roll. He's 32 years old. He's got to be all that he's been advertised as for the team to be better on defense.
Absolutely, and one of those things, just as we discussed with Bushrod, is his leadership. He's known as a guy who calls people out, who sort of brings a group together. He has the pedigree. 2 Pro Bowls, he won a Super Bowl. And with a young team that's transitioning like this, they need a leader in the back end like that, but also a guy who can play in the field and sort of guard deep, which is something they didn't do a whole lot last year.
Well, and that's the key. He was valuable in spite of his age because he is a coverage safety, and there aren't many of them around. Now, another guy key in coverage, Kevin, Kyle Fuller, number 1 pick last year. This is an interesting player to me because, yes, he was the Defensive Rookie of the Year in September. He was awful October through December, and yet so much is expected of him. I'm not sure we've seen enough on the field yet to know that you can count on that.
Yeah, I think that's why he's ranked 7th and not maybe in the top 5, because you look at how important the cornerback position is, how important it is to have a lockdown corner or cover corner, especially in this NFC North division when you look at who the Bears are going to play. No Charles Tillman anymore. Kyle Fuller, the injury, we don't really know how much it impacted him last year. I was really impressed what he did when Detroit came to Chicago. Calvin Johnson still put up big numbers, but his target-to-catch ratio was not very good. Fuller played much better that game, so it gave you a little bit of a glimpse. And here's what we can tell you about Kyle Fuller. John Fox and Vic Fangio are very, very excited about him. They have spoken more glowingly about Fuller than maybe anybody else in the defense, and he obviously plays a crucial role for this team.
You mentioned Alshon Jeffrey, Nate. He checks in at number 6, and yes, he's a multiple 1,000-yard receiver. Last 2 seasons, went to a Pro Bowl a couple years ago, but that was as a number 2 with Brandon Marshall clearing the way. Now at number 1, it could be a different story.
Yeah, and this is going to be a new role for him full-time, going number 1 with Marshall out of town. He got to do it 3 games last year, and he really didn't take much command of that role. He was targeted 29 times, only had 12 receptions. With Kevin White stepping into that number 2 role, he's a guy that has a lot of talent but needs to develop. Having a guy like Alshon, number 1, could help that happen. And then we just talk about positions. The number 1 receiver, especially for Jay Cutler, is going to be pretty important.
Well, and Kevin, we talk about Kevin White needing to learn the routes, learn the route tree. We don't know what kind of route runner Alshon Jeffrey really is. Again, he's had the benefit of being the second option. He's the best contested ball catcher in the NFC. I think people would agree on that. But that doesn't make a number 1 receiver.
No, that's why he's so high on this list, because there's some question marks about what he can bring to this team, and it's possible we do this list next year and Kevin White and Alshon Jeffrey flip-flop, and maybe Jeffrey's not even on the team next year. Remember, going into the last year of his contract, he saw what Demaryius Thomas and Des Bryant got. He's nowhere near that level yet. Can he get there? We're not sure, but this is such a crucial season for him, and if he plays at a high level and the Bears get a lot from Kevin White, Royal Bennett, then the offense gets back on track to what we saw in 2013.
All right, folks, we've taken you from 20 all the way down to number 6. That leaves the top 5 Bear necessities for this season. You'll get that and more, everything you need to enjoy the Chicago Bears preseason right here 24/7 at chicagofootball.com.